There we go. Now I'm live. Now I'm live. So, right, this week, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you there in Instagram land. Thank you so much in Facebook. So this week, I'm going to talk about the things that are holding us back from our own success, the things we do to ourselves that really stop us in our success. I'm just trying to settle my camera here so you don't have all my accoutrements on Instagram. Fine, fabulous. So, this was really driven about by a couple of things. It was driven by my podcast interview, and if you haven't listened to it, it's on iTunes. This woman can. I had an interview with Ingrid Riley of Silicon Carib, where she talked about the fear she had of failure. She'd started as an investigative journalist, and she realized that it wasn't what she wanted to do. She was very much into tech, but she was petrified of actually leaving the role she was in and going down this new career. And then the other thing I saw was a KPMG report that said that risk taking was vital if women to become leaders. And they'd done a survey, and it told them that 48% of professional women they'd surveyed said that risk taking had actually improved their confidence at work. And 55% had agreed that risk taking helped their career advancement. And so the question was, why don't we take risks? Why don't we take risks at work? What stops us? Well, 41% in this same survey, 41% of women said it's because they fear looking like they don't know as much as they should in the job they're doing. 40% believed they would be ignored or not taken seriously in the job, and 37% had a fear of failing. So it was pretty epidemic for women, taking that step in their career. So have a think if any of those things sound like you. And then the third thing that prompted it was me pulling together the activities for the program I'm doing at the 9th of February, Level Up Mindset Makeover. And I kept thinking about the things that have held me back and some of the women I've coached when I was actually pulling the activities together. And it was, so stay until the end because I'll tell you a little bit more about Level Up, especially if you're Antigua, because you need to be here, it's live. Now, when I looked at this, I thought I'd come up with the top 10 things that hold people back, the whole top 10 things that hold women back. But when I looked a little deeper, I realized there were a couple more. So there's a couple of bonuses in here. And what I've realized is that during the time when I've coached people, I've noticed that there's patterns in the things that we do, me included, that have held us back from the success. So these are things I have learned. The first thing is comparisonitis. We compare ourselves to others. Whether we are starting a new business, whether we're learning a new skill, we look at other people who hopefully are much further down the road from us, and we expect our results when we start out to be exactly like theirs. And we want it now. We want it today. We want it right now. But what we don't see, and which is prevalent, and now I have that experience, is what you don't see is the struggle that they've gone through behind that whole process, the mistakes they've made, the hundreds of side steps they've done, how they've swerved in order to get the results they've got. And then conversely, if we were to follow social media, and we rarely see the unglamorous parts of what people have gone through, we only see the shiny bits, the great things. And we assume that bad things have never occurred to these people, what they're doing. And then we start comparing ourselves again, and we start to feel inadequate, incapable, and basically downright discouraged. So the goal here really is to stay focused on where you are today compared to yesterday, because we've all made movements, we've all progressed. It may be small, it may seem minute, but it's progress. That little step is progress. And that gives us a far more accurate picture of the progress we're actually making. The next thing is we ask ourselves all the wrong questions. Now, we have that inner dialogue. We have the inner mean girl. Sometimes we have the inner mentor. We have the inner critic. And we spend a lot of time and energy asking ourselves if what we're doing is possible, if we're good enough, if it's the right thing we're doing, if what so-and-so would do. And it's if, it's always if. We always ask ourselves if. Now, these questions and the if question has no more purpose than actually sucking all the life, the energy and motivation out of us of what we do. So when you're questioning yourself, when we've got to question ourselves, it's right we question ourselves. Change your questions to what I call the 5 major generals. So who, how, why, what, when. Yeah, who, how, why, what, when. That's 5, definitely 5. So how will I make this happen? What's the first step I need to take? Who can help me do this? Spend your energy finding answers that will help you move closer to the success you're looking for. Okay. So number 3, stick with me here, because I've got about 12. So, you're going to stay with me for a while. You wait for external permission. You know what it's like. And by that, I mean, we wait for somebody to approve of what we're doing. And I get that we all want to keep those we love happy. I get that we want approval. I get that we want to tell ourselves that, and that their approval means we're doing the right thing. And we want to know that what we're doing will make them happy. But while we're waiting for that permission permit, and that's what I call it, we end up stuck and paralyzed. And sometimes by just an offhand comment or an enthusiastic reaction, they don't know that you're waiting for their permission because you haven't asked for it, and they don't know you're waiting for it. And I'll always remember the pained expression on my boss's face when I was telling him that I was going to leave my job. I was leaving the corporate world, and I wasn't quite sure, to be honest, what I was going to do, but I was leaving the corporate world. And his expression was, his face, he was telling me, what are you going to do without a steady income? And the door will always be open if you want to come back. And I thought, shit, that really hurt. But if I'd listened to him and what he'd said, I'd be stuck in a job that was really, really draining me, that was draining all the joy out of me, living a life that really wasn't me. And I just wouldn't have been happy. The bottom line is, you know what's best for you. So trust your gut and your heart, live by your standards, and you're much more likely to create a life that makes you happy. The next thing I want to touch on is we're waiting for when the time is right, the right time. We all know the right time. We keep putting something off because it's not the right time. The time's not right. We need to make a few more changes. We need to get more experience. We need to learn a few more skills. We need to save money. We need to wait for the economy to be right, yada, 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 yada. We're waiting for this mythical sign that tells it's the right time to start. Now, people, stick with me here. Newsflash, huge newsflash. It's just your mind playing delay tactics on your brain and winning, basically winning, because the only right time is now. It's only by starting that you discover what needs to be done or improved or learned or whatever needs to happen, not before. There's never a right time. The right time is now. That's kind of misnomer. Never a right time, but there is a right time. The right time is now. You can't be waiting for this right time to appear to itself. The next thing is, you expect abracadabra, just like that. I call it just like that. Instant results. What? Your head's telling you what? You've put so much time and effort into something and that no one has noticed? What a huge waste of time. Come on, you might as well stop now. It's not going to happen. And I remember this. I so remember this when I launched my first podcast about just over a year ago. And the only people who had listened to it was me and my husband. And, come on, like, no one's listening to my podcast. Come on, does not anybody understand how good my podcast is? And as the days roll by, my podcasting career threatened to stop just as quickly as it had started. But now I've recorded almost 100 episodes. And again, this woman can, on iTunes. And it's been downloaded in almost 80 countries. So the key here is to be patient, be persistent, stay focused, and give yourself a realistic time frame to attain the results you want. The old adage of Rome wasn't built in a day really, really, really plays a part here. And the next thing is number 6, and number six, you don't take action. This is a bad one. And I can be guilty of this, and I've seen where I've been guilty of this. You make lots of lists. You make fantastic plans, beautiful plans. You rewrite, you review, you look at those plans, use the latest app to capture them for a second time. You talk about your plans, you visualize the plans, you criticize your plans, you develop analysis paralysis. You do everything on that plan, but actually act on it. You don't actually do anything with it. So your first step, no matter how imperfect it may be, it'll be far more, taking that first step will be far more useful to you, get words out, than all the plans you create. Your first step is that important catalyst. And the thing about it is that you might actually place when you actually try and do it. So spend the majority of time on action, not inaction or planning. And you can do the planning along the way if you want to, but you have to get somewhere. If you want to get somewhere, you need to start doing something. So thank you, Diane. Hi, Terry. Hi, Fred, fitness guy. The next thing is, oh gosh, I'm really good at this. Fake busy, and writing this, and I was writing this, looking at this, and I was thinking about all the things that I do, all the things I do in this. So number 7 is your fake busy, lovely procrastination. And when I think about all the times I spent redesigning my website, researching other sites, playing with new programs, all in the name of research, anything to avoid the tasks that I felt were uncomfortable. I was brilliant at busily doing nothing. Absolutely fantastic. I was hands down, A student, everything. I could do it. I could be busy forever doing nothing. And if you know you're doing the same, take a step back and ask yourself, where are the actions you're currently doing leading to? If they're not leading to tangible results, then you need to be spending your time somewhere else doing something else. Okay, so I'm getting there now. I'm getting there. Number 8, the loudest voices are everybody else's. Everybody else. Everybody's got to, I know it. I know it's scary. And you're new to whatever it is you're trying to do. And quite rightly, the right thing to do is to seek advice. You go out there, you seek advice. The world, the internet, your friends, your family, everybody has an opinion on the subject. You obediently sit and listen. You assume it's correct. You assume that they're the expert, and therefore they must know what they're talking about. They have the advice that you want to follow, or else you're going to fail miserably if you don't listen to what they're saying is. The challenge is that you listen, you listen to everybody else, and there's so much advice coming to you at so many different directions that again, you become paralyzed. Now, it's okay for you to read, it's okay for you to learn, but take time to listen to your gut and what your instinct is telling you. Trust that you'll find the right way, the best way, your own way of doing things, and the actions that you decide will be just right for you. Yes. And I've learned the hard way to listen to me, listen to myself. Next is, you assume that talent and not persistence is the secret to success. Now, you can tell yourself, if I had any talent, it'd be much easier. I'm not cut out for this, especially when you start a project and you find that it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to get where you want. You interpret this to mean that you're deficient in some area, that there's something missing. And, maybe you're punching above your weight, and that maybe you should try something easier. Maybe you shouldn't think so highly, you should have had lofty goals. Bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit on this. Don't drink the Kool-Aid or buy into this mindset. If you keep on going, it's going to get easier. I promise. Trust me, I promise. I'll let you into a secret here. My husband, I love him, Derek, got me dance lessons, got us dance lessons for my birthday. And we've just started dance lessons. So we're learning how to salsa. And we're not the best dancers, we could have done this earlier. We probably could have done this earlier. But you're there and you're thinking, gosh, Tal, I can't do this. What am I trying to do? I can't learn these steps, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, twist, turn, spin, what's it called, fan out and this. There's loads of stuff to go into it. And I'm thinking, I can't learn the steps. Maybe I should stick to what I know, which is two-step and winding. And my Caribbean friends will know what winding is. But we persevered. We definitely persevered. And now, look at us. We've agreed to participate in demonstration dances, and we're going to be taking our exams. We're going to take proper dance exams. So the key here is perseverance. Anything you do will get easier the more you do it. Persistence and not talent is the secret to success. So stick at it. Keep working at it, and eventually you'll find yourself winning. Trust me. I'm no longer two-stepping. I am salsaing 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So I got it. I even did a kick last night. I'm so proud of myself. But anyway, so number 10, you are inflexible. You're inflexible. And I don't mean that you're trying to touch your toes or like me, bend your back when you're trying to do the salsa steps. I mean, you've got a plan, and we talked about you having a plan, which was great. And you work really hard on that plan, and nothing's going to make you deviate from that plan no matter what. And you assume the only way you can succeed with what you're doing is to stick to that plan. But the beauty of a plan, of having a plan, is that it can change. This is why you build in reviews, you build in check-ins, you build in assessments, because if something's not working, you have the prerogative to change it. It's your plan. You created it. Because it doesn't matter how you get there. You've just got to get there. And I can guess that quite a few of us and quite a few of you guys, and me included, have had the goal of losing weight or getting fit. As I said, me too, even harder now. I've got a bit older. And in years gone by, I would have signed up to the gym, gong ho, gym membership, started going to the gym, fallen out of love with the gym, then stopped going to the gym, and then beat myself up for not losing weight and getting fit, assumed the only way I could have done that was by going to the gym. Fast forward a few years, and I discovered my love for running and cycling, both of which still cost me a little bit because I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to my kit and my bikes and stuff like that. But the end goal for me there was weight loss and fitness, and that's been attained just by a different vehicle. And now I'm adding the dancing. Remember, I'm doing the salsa, and I really enjoy it. So the goal is still, it's still my tactics. The goal is still there, but my tactics to get to the goal have changed. So have a think about what's your proverbial unvisited gym. What is it you could do differently? What could you exchange it with? And number 11, I love this one. Because we are all guilty of it. It is just me, myself, and I. Look, I've just put my hair up there. It's me, myself, and I. And by that, I mean you have to do it all by yourself. In your opinion, asking for help is a sign of weakness, or maybe it just doesn't occur to you that you could even reach out to somebody else for help. You want to do this on your own. And, I know the strong woman syndrome. I understand all that. And we're not asking anybody else for help. No way. No. But wow, come on. Why are you making it so hard on yourself? For me, knowing and owning my weaknesses is an immense sign of strength, because you become far stronger person when you have support, when you have someone in your back, someone holding your back. Too many times we walk around believing that the only ones who can help us is ourselves, when really it's far easier if we learn from somebody else who's already done it, or we can get support for what we're trying to do. So stop it right now. I'm talking to you. Stop it right now. I want you to list 3 things when we finish this, and I'll be finished soon. List the 3 things you're struggling with right now. Just have a look at 3 things you're struggling right now. And next to each of those points, write down at least one person who may have experienced similar, or you could go and ask for some support. And write down the one question you'd love to ask that person. Then don't even think about it. Reach out and ask them. Yeah, that's the one thing. Reach out and ask them, because you're not in this alone. My last point here for it's 12 things that are holding you back. It's my 12th point, and you've probably got a few more. And if you have, let me know. Drop me a line. The last point here is you don't know when to let go. And this is a biggie, not just for work, but in relationships, in friendships, in activities we're doing. We've repeatedly tried our best. You've changed strategies 100 of times. You've swerved, you've dodged, you've worked endless hours on a particular project. You've invested in a relationship, and you're just not seeing the results you're hoping for. So you work really harder, you work much harder, and you work faster, hoping that somehow, someday you'll get there. It'll be that you'll get the results you want. But every time you look at what's happening, you look at that relationship, you look at that project, there's a great big bloody cloud hanging over your head, a dark cloud following you anywhere you go, because it's just making you miserable. You know, any excitement or joy you felt about working on it has been sucked out of you. But again, you feel you've invested so much time, so much energy that you can't let go. You can't let go. So I'm going to reframe it. Ask you to reframe. If you're in that situation, I'm going to ask you to reframe it. Look at that situation, maybe that situation you haven't let go, and how you're feeling right now about it. If I said to you, you had to spend the next 12 months working on the same project, the same relationship, knowing what you know now, knowing how it makes you feel now, what would you say? And if you had to let it go, what else could you be doing with that same amount of time? Now, we all know somebody who won't let go of something, and we can all see that it's damaging. It's more damaging for them, then it's more of a benefit. And maybe it's happening to you. Maybe it's happening to you right now. So listen to me when I tell you it's okay to let go. You have permission. It's okay to let go. By all means, you don't have to hang on for dear life. You really don't have to hang on for dear life. So those are my 12 things that are holding us back from success. And the beauty of that is that these are the things I'll be tackling and more like this in my Level Up Mindset Makeover. That's on the 9th of February in Antigua. So, you know, you can't knock it. Antigua, the Caribbean, at Nomad. And I've done it on a Saturday deliberately to make it more accessible for more women, because I know women sort of work and stuff like that, and that's fine. But it's one day. It's about from 8:30 to 4 o'clock approximately. And I'm asking you, women in Antigua, to come along and not to think about it, because as women, we spend so much time focused on someone else, something else. Somebody else is more important. There's always something better to do. There's always a reason why we can't spend time on ourselves. And we rarely take time out to actually look at the things that make us feel better. But what's more worthwhile than spending some time on you, spending some time developing you, spending some personal time on yourself. So the Mindset Makeover is for women who want to have a much bigger impact in their life. And it's going to be enjoyable because it's me. Going to be me, so it's going to be fun. You know, I can't do things without a bit of fun in there. And it's time totally dedicated to you, where you can reflect and recharge. We're going to have some lovely conversations. I've kept it deliberately a small group, so we can have meaningful conversations. I know what it's like. Again, we feel a little bit we can't have that conversation, we can't talk. But again, remember I said to you, there's power in sharing. And the me, myself, and I piece, where we think it's all about us and nobody else has gone through it. And I always tell the women, we're not that special. You're not that special, because somebody else somewhere has gone through or is going through exactly the same thing you're going through right now. So it's a great place to help you overcome your fears, focus on the goals you want to do, create a plan for achieving the vision you have, and understanding what's held you back in the past. So I have an early bird payment, early bird investment that was be due today, the 26th of Jan for tomorrow. So that's 340 EC. You have to convert that by 2.7 if you're doing US dollars. If paid by tomorrow, and it's $360 after the 26th of Jan, but that does include the whole day with me, does include live group coaching, does include lunch and refreshments, it does include all the materials, the personal development, the self-care, the goal setting, dedicated time for journaling. You know, it's money well spent. It is a great investment for you. And I know if my Antiguan sisters are out there listening, I know we love last minute things. But let me tell you, when I say to you that the space are going really quickly, I've kept it small deliberately, as I said, so we can have a more intimate, meaningful conversations with the women that are in the room. So don't waste time hanging around thinking last minute I will get in, because you may be sorely disappointed. So that's the mindset makeover. That's me for this week. And it was a good one this week. It was a good one this week. So don't forget to join me next week, same time, same place, 9:30, Instagram, and also on Facebook Live. Send me your questions, DM me your questions I have to cover up. Call me to sign up for Level Up. I have books. If you're Antigua, again, I have books back in stock. This Woman Can, the No Bullshit Guide for Women in the Lead, and now back in stock. Thank you so much for everybody who's bought a copy so far. And if you have purchased a copy from me personally, not via Amazon, can I ask a big favor? Can I ask a huge favor? Can I ask you to pop along to Amazon and leave me a review? I know you've loved the books. I'm not even gonna ask if you loved it, because I know you did. But if you could just pop along to Amazon, leave me a review, that would be fantastic. Tune into the podcast, This Woman Can, every week. I think it's about every Wednesday I release, but there's lots of back copies to listen to. It's great listening to. And right now, that's it for this week. So until next week, remember, if I can, you can. This Woman Can. Until next week, take care. Bye.